Hello everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're taking a look at a massive systemic headache that modern organizations are wrestling with. But the good news, we're finally seeing a true technological solution for it. We're talking about a massive paradigm shift in the compliance world, moving away from those painstakingly slow, manual processes and stepping into something called proactive intelligence. To really wrap our heads around this, we're going to break down the mechanics of RegTech Nexus AI. We'll see exactly how organizations are completely rewiring their approach to global regulations, continuous compliance, and enterprise risk management.
Okay, let's dive into this. What actually happens when global regulations shift faster than your spreadsheets can update? I mean, this question really hits the core of the modern compliance nightmare, doesn't it? We aren't just talking about a couple of unread emails here. We're talking about the reality of drowning in browser tabs, disparate data silos, and insanely complex control frameworks that need constant, endless mapping. Every single day, rules are changing across jurisdictions, new data privacy laws pop up, and financial reporting standards get tweaked. And the analog tools people historically used to track them, they just cannot keep up. When your regulatory updates are unmapped and you're relying on manual data entry, your entire organizational security posture is basically compromised right out of the gate.
And the mismatch here is literally staggering. On one side, you've got shifting global regulations, a completely dynamic, constantly moving target. Laws are mutating, new frameworks are rolling out globally at lightning speed, and regulatory bodies want more and more granular transparency. But on the other side, manual spreadsheets and legacy software. They are totally static. They're rigid, they need a human constantly in the loop to interpret, copy, paste, and adjust. When you try to manage highly dynamic global requirements using static tools, you create a fundamentally broken system. The friction of relying on humans to track all this means your organization is perpetually one step behind the law, introducing severe vulnerabilities into your everyday operations.
Section 1. The cost of compliance chaos. Let's look at why these analog methods fail.
So the consequences of this mismatch cascade through an organization incredibly fast. First off, you've got highly skilled compliance teams burning countless hours on manual audits. The opportunity cost here is absolutely massive. Time that should be spent on strategic risk analysis and proactive threat modeling is just wasted hunting down data points across different departments. Second, these teams find themselves absolutely drowning in dense legal texts, trying to manually parse out what a specific regulatory update actually means for their distinct business architecture. And then there is the ultimate consequence, the profound financial risk. When these manual systems fail to catch a compliance gap, organizations are risking multi-million-dollar fines. Literally, one missed spreadsheet update could trigger a catastrophic penalty.
Section 2. Enter RegTech Nexus AI, Proactive Intelligence.
So what is proactive intelligence? Well, it's defined as turning regulatory chaos into automated continuous control testing across all your systems. This isn't just a new piece of software. It's a total paradigm shift for enterprise risk management. We're moving away from reactive panic and stepping into structured, calm control. Instead of waiting for an annual audit just to realize you're out of compliance, which, forces that whole scrambling reactive response, proactive intelligence means the system is constantly self-evaluating. Through deep API integrations and automated telemetry, this platform is continuously monitoring your live tech stack against the absolute latest regulatory requirements. It is an ongoing state of control, silently working in the background to keep you up to date without anyone having to manually initiate a thing.
Section 3. Mapping Proactive Intelligence. Let's move to Diasrod and see how this builds a continuous process.
This three-step process mechanically outlines how proactive intelligence actually gets the job done. Step 1 is ingestion. The AI automatically ingests shifting global frameworks, basically reading and synthesizing new regulations globally in real time. Step 2 is the mapping phase, which is absolutely critical. Traditionally, mapping abstract legalese to live workflows is a total nightmare because it requires interpreting complex laws across isolated departmental silos. But the AI leverages natural language processing to decode the regulation and automatically map those requirements directly onto your daily business operations and software configurations. And then step 3, running continuous control testing. By automating these tests round the clock, the platform completely eliminates the need for manual data sampling. Human error is removed entirely, and control efficacy is verified continuously, not just periodically.
30. In the compliance world, this number represents pain. 30 days is the grueling, standard amount of time it historically takes for the manual data collection cycle just to prep for an audit. Think about that time, a full month. pulling your key engineering and security resources completely away from their strategic jobs, having them sift through localized files, taking endless screenshots, and just crossing your fingers that you didn't miss a critical data point somewhere in the process. It's an exhausting, highly inefficient drain on human capital that halts your business momentum every single time audit season rolls around.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we completely compress that timeline. By implementing automated telemetry, we go from 30 exhausting days of manual labor to an instantaneous one-click audit-ready report. Because the system has been quietly running those continuous control tests in the background all along, gathering the evidence, validating configurations, mapping it back to specific legal frameworks, the data is already right there. It's perfectly formatted, time-stamped, and mathematically verified. So, when the auditor asks for proof of a control, you aren't launching a massive month-long internal investigation. You just click, get a green checkmark, and export the continuous evidence it's seamlessly compiled along the way.
Section 4. Eliminating your blind spots. Proactive protection.
And this brilliantly illustrates how this proactive approach scales and protects the entire organization, regardless of your current size. On one side, you have scaling mid-market firms, right? Maybe they're dealing with tricky cross-border regulations for the very first time. For them, this technology acts as a foundational compliance layer, preventing technical debt before it even starts. On the flip side, you've got massive global enterprise architectures managing incredibly complex, deeply embedded legacy systems all over the world. The continuous control testing applies equally to both of these environments. It adapts to the specific complexity of your tech stack to automatically flag misconfigurations and eliminate blind spots no matter your operational scale.
The source material we're analyzing today highlights the accessibility of this technological shift, pointing specifically to RegTech Nexus AI for audit and regulatory intelligence. And it's really fascinating from an industry perspective is that migrating to this kind of ultimate hub for continuous compliance doesn't require a massive multi-year implementation team anymore. The analysis actually notes that an organization can see this whole architecture mapping in action hooked up to live environments through a quick 10-minute demo. That is an incredibly low barrier to entry for a system that can potentially save you thousands of hours of manual evidence collection.
So the crucial point is this: eliminate your compliance blind spots before the regulators find them. In a modern technological landscape where global regulations, data security standards, and privacy laws are just constantly shifting, relying on reactive analog tools is a highly dangerous strategy. You absolutely must be proactive. I really hope this explainer gave you a deep, mechanical understanding of how continuous automated intelligence is reshaping enterprise risk management. Thank you so much for joining us to break this down today, and I want to leave you with a thought to evaluate your own systems. Are you still relying on manual sampling in a rapidly automating world?